Hey guys, Flourish here. I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. I wanted to come with you today, switch it up a little bit. I want to talk to you about angel numbers. I know everyone has like their perception of angel numbers, but I want to give you direct messages and let you know that angel messages are not just numbers we see and they're like, oh, good luck is upon you. No, there's work that you need to put in when you see angel numbers as well. So we're going to get into some divination and we're going to see what the angel numbers are telling us and what we need to do to accomplish, those goals or whatever it is that is for us. All right, so let's start with 111. When we see 111, there are different aspects and different ways that you could see them. So I'm going to read from two different books of mine, where one says 111 means you are one with all that is. Know that all you are doing and giving is for the world and all the beings in it. So basically 111 in the first book, which is by Kyle Gray, means the life forces within you, to be understanding that you're on the right path and you're doing all that is divine and right for you. My other book, whom is written by Bell Motley, it states that 111 is a major message for you. It says to monitor your thoughts as the universe is listening. So basically, it's to warn you, like, make sure these thoughts are positive. Make sure that your thoughts are aligning with your wants and needs, and in a positive light. To be aware and make sure that the negative thoughts are scarce. So when 111 is showing up for you, here is what it is. It says what your future holds are opportunities to refresh one's spiritual life as well as change your creative or work related outlets. So when 111 is showing up, it could possibly mean that it's time for a change. It's time for you to get more creative and maybe change what you're doing creatively, or even change how you're working, your work outlets, things like that. So we all need to understand physically, mentally, emotionally where we're at. So what can you do? What are things you can do? Schedule to break bad habits, minimize social media and other distractions, start a new hobby or job, and embrace creativity. Those are some things that we can do. But we're going to also ask the cards and we're going to get a better idea. Divine ancestors, when it comes to the angel numbers 111, divine, what are the divine ancestor messages from the angel numbers 111 showing up for us? Desire came out. So like I said, when you see that arrow, you're supposed to be mentally knowing what it is that you want and shooting for it to directly hit the goals, the power points, the pressure points in what you're trying to achieve. So with that 111, and then the number 8 is on this card. So for me, the number 8 within that 111 is meaning it's time to break those habits. It's time to change those old patterns, start making new ones so we can reach those accomplishments, reach those achievements. All right. Okay. So, divine, what would minimizing distractions look like? Minimizing distractions. Okay. So speak up. So when I hear speak up, I'm thinking like, there's times that we getting phone calls when we're supposed to be working. There's times that we having our little creative breaks where we getting downloads and we know what it is that we want to do, what we're trying to do. And then we allow people to call, text, send us emails, and we're answering, and we're allowing the distractions to distract us from what we're doing and what goals we're setting for ourselves for that day. So it's time to speak up and express to people and set those boundaries and say, you know what, right now I'm working on something, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I don't have time for distractions right now, so I'm gonna hit you later once I finish work. I'm gonna hit you later once I finish my meditation. I'm gonna hit you later, I'm resting right now. So we have to speak up and set those boundaries. That's what I'm getting from it. That's what I'm getting from it. That's what I'm getting. All right, Divine. So how can we embrace our creativity more? Ooh, flipped on out of there. We can let go of the grief. We can let go of the grief. And with grief, I'm feeling with this message, letting go of grief to embrace and embody the 111. It's like you have to let go of old habits. You have to let go of your old self. You have to let go of old emotions. You have to bring an ending to old trials so that you can start a new era. So that you can begin a new era. So you have to embrace where you at, where you're going, where you want to be. And you have to release where you were, where you was at, and where you don't want to be anymore. So you can grieve that old you, but it's time to embrace the new one. So that's how we're going to embrace new hobbies, a new job, and new creativity by letting go old things, old creativity, old jobs, old everything. Out with, you know how they say that saying, out with the old, in with the new? That's what 111 is embodying. And also, I want y'all to know, when you think about the number 1, you think about winning. That's a boss number right there. So 111 3 times, that's just expansion, growth, ascension. You feel me? All right. So let's get into the next angel number. So the next angel number that you guys are probably seeing a lot is 1111. So 1111 can show up on a clock, it can show up on an ad, it can show up on a license plate, it can show up on the TV, it can show up on your telephone. There's different ways that you could see that. And when you see 1111, it basically means that it's a chance to manifest your desires and dreams. A chance to manifest your desires and dreams. And basically you can achieve it all. You just have to believe in yourself, basically. So that's what 1111 is. It's like boss up energy, just like 111, but just a little bit different. What can you do to embody 1111? Serve others through volunteer work. Use journaling to monitor your thoughts. Reach out to your spirit guides for direction. That's what would help and increase your embodiment of 1111 angel number. So let's ask the oracle and let's get into it. Okay, divine ancestors, how can you serve others through volunteer work? How can you serve others through volunteer work? So, like myself, I feel that I'm a wounded healer. I heal my wounds, and I also help my tribe, my subscribers, my community, my friends, family, loved ones. I help them heal their wounds. So what does that look like? That can look like several different things. You can show people and teach people how to be vulnerable. You can allow people to understand, about their chakras, their crown chakra, third eye, throat, heart, sacral, solar, root. You can help them to understand that if they embrace their true self, their spirituality as a whole, how much healing that can have in itself, but there's still more work to be done. So serving others through volunteer work would mean you're volunteering your time, your guidance, almost for free, in some ways. And it has to come through a loving place. So the number 15 breaks down to a 6. That would mean that's like 6 and 2 is almost like a love number. So it would have to be from a pure intent place. Divine answer says, how can we monitor our thoughts? What are some ways we can monitor our thoughts? Some ways to monitor our thoughts. Some ways to monitor our thoughts. So it says mask. For me, when I see mask and what we're expressing and talking about right now, I think of masking who we truly are, not showing up in our true, genuine, authentic self. So almost like faking the funk. And when we're faking the funk, yeah, we could fake the funk with people on the outside, but we're truly faking the funk with ourselves. You're not keeping it real with yourself. You're not being real with yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. And what do I mean by that? A lot of us are in denial. A lot of us are in denial where we're at. A lot of us are too busy worrying about other people and their problems and judging them, and we're not really looking deep within and working on ourselves. Some people are out here saying that they're doing the healing work, but you really don't see it, and you're like, how are you doing healing work? But me per se, I'm not at that level where I'm kind of worried about everybody else. I am, I love my people, I love my community, but I help as much as I can, but I'm not going to overextend myself. If I don't see you doing for self, I can't do for you if you're not doing for yourself. So that looks like somebody that's in denial. That looks like someone that doesn't take responsibility. That looks like somebody that's always pointing the finger and always blaming others for their circumstances or where they're at or how they're feeling or how they're doing and things like that. So stop masking your true thoughts is what I'm getting of how you can monitor your thoughts. Stop masking your true thoughts. Understand where you're at and understand where you want to go and do the work to get to where you're trying to get to. Because if you're trying to manifest and you're trying to, manifest your desires, manifest your dreams, to do that, you have a lot of work to do. Not just, worrying about financial. When you get to your desires and your dreams, you can lose it all by not being real, not being healed, not being okay, not being grounded. It's different aspects to being successful. All right, come on, Divine, let's go with these messages. All right, how can divine ancestor messages of how people can reach out to their spirit guides for directions? How to reach out for your spirit guide for directions. Shame. Stop being ashamed to ask for help. Stop feeling guilty when you need help. Stop worrying about asking for support and feeling like it's not okay for you to ask for support. Nobody can do anything by themselves. It takes a village, it takes a tribe. So you need to understand that asking your guides, asking divine, asking whomever you call on in a spiritual sense, asking for help, it's just a how can I say, a leg up. It's just a leg up. You don't have to worry about them feeling like, oh, here they go again. No, come from a pure intentional place. Come from a grounded space, a grounded state of mind, knowing that you already have enough, you already know enough, you already am enough. But guess what? Sometimes we fall short in certain areas and we need the extra assistance. We need the extra support. We need the extra shoulder to lean on. And we need to understand that ancestors are seen and unseen. So know that it's okay to ask for help when needed. Like, don't be ashamed. Yes, come through, Divine, with these ancestor messages. Like, I'm loving it. I'm truly loving it. All right. So another angel numbers that we may be seeing is 333. That's the triple threes And also with the triple threes, it breaks down to a 9. I want to read the 9 message to you first. 9 message means the energy of the divine is awakening within you. Let your soul do the leading. So what does that mean? You are connected and you're knowing that you're connected. You have that spiritual sense of mind and that state of mind to know, who you are spiritually, and you're connected with your inner self. Okay, so the 333 message broken down, not broken down, 333 straight up is you are powerfully aligned with ascended masters at this time. You are at a crucial point on your journey where you can go beyond all previous setbacks. So now it's like basically like a spiritual awakening. You're awakened to your true self. You have this connection with your inner self, and now there's nothing that can stop you. There's no setbacks because you already aligned and you know what time it is. So when you are embodying that, remember, it's a chance to connect. When you see the 333, it's a chance to connect with ascended masters while negotiating difficulty in our lives. So basically, you see the 333. Yes, you're on the right track. You're spiritually aligned. You know what time it is, but you might still be experiencing difficulties in your life when you're seeing that 333. So what is it that you can do to embody the 333, to flourish with the 333? Serve others through volunteer work. Cut off depressive and negative thinking and speak words of positivity aloud. Read past journal entries to understand how you have grown. Improve communication skills through mindful speech. So what I'm hearing here is like basically, volunteering, humanitarianism. And that can be in so many different shapes or forms. You can be out there handing out cans of food, at a homeless shelter or at a church or at a, place where you could be donating clothes that no longer fit you. You can be donating your time to a cause or to somebody that needs you. There's so many different ways that we could do volunteer work. Cutting off depressive and negative thinking. We need to start turning those negatives into a positive. So the positive mantras, the positive affirmations, listening to positive music and positive frequencies, aloud, speaking these words, listening to these musics, there's so many different tools that we can use to switch around those depressive negative thinking and negative thoughts. Reading past journals and understanding how we've grown and where we came from. For me, I think that's a beautiful thing. You can go into journals where, you could see the change in mindset from then to now. You could see the negative mindset switch from then to now. Also, improving communication skills through mindful speech. So basically improving the way we communicate with ourselves and to others. So let's go. Let's get some divine messages from the cards. All right, divine, what are some ways that we can serve? Yes. So it says shine. So for me, I see a tree. I see a goat. So it's giving Capricorn vibes. The horns up there is giving Capricorn vibes. So for me, I'm getting a message of earth. So sometimes to volunteer work, we can volunteer cleaning up in the parks. We can volunteer by helping like plants, nurturing the soil. There's so many different ways, but that's what I'm getting from this. So I feel like there's something that we can do with our hands as well. So I'm even getting like, there's some moms, there's some dads out there that can't afford to get their children's hair done. So if you're good with your hands and good with doing hair, I'm getting like you can donate your time and maybe doing someone's child's hair for free or someone's hair for free. Possibly there's some people that are in shelters and they can't afford to get their hair done to like go on interviews and things like that. So you can give hairstyles for free or do hair for free or donate clothes to people that need to go on interviews and they don't have clothes. There's so many different ways to do volunteer work, but for some reason those two came right to me, so I decided to share those. But I'm thinking like that we're all alchemists and there's always something that we're good at. So that's different ways that we know we're good at certain things. Those are ways we can give back. Okay? Just think of a way or something that you're good at of you can give back to your community. Divine, how can we cut off depressive and negative thinking and speak words of positivity? So basically, I'm getting moon and emotions. I feel like we need to have an understanding that when we're places in life, intuitively, we need to understand like it's a season. This card says seasons. We go through seasons. It's basically lessons. We go through these seasons and these lessons and these challenges in life for a certain period of time. It's not forever. It's not, eternity. It's just for the time being, because we have to get through these lessons to understand something and to overcome. It's just an obstacle that's supposed to be overcame. And I feel like we need to understand that once we embody that, we'll all be better. If we don't dwell and like, oh, why always me? Also, once again, like I said before, we have to start taking responsibility. You have to start taking responsibility of where you're at. Because if you don't take responsibility, you're going to be dwelling there for a long time looking for somebody to blame. So with that, how do we cut off depressive and negative thinking and speak words of positivity aloud? Understand where we're at. Take responsibility, and then start to speak to yourself and understand, what do you need to do to get out of this? Why are you here? And where will you be once you understand and overcome this? Yes. I hope you understood that, because I felt a little confused for a minute. I understood what I was trying to say, but I don't think I was getting it out correctly. But I hope you understood. You just have to understand that it's a season and a reason. And once you come to that realization, it all makes sense. All right, divine. Through journaling, how will we understand how we've grown? How will we understand how we've grown through journaling? Intuition. This is like I feel like it's a child form and then an adult form. You'll really truly understand how immature or your immature levels were and how mature you are now. Just hearing the way you speak then, or write then, or talk then about certain aspects and certain experiences, you'll see the young mind frame, the young level of communication, the level of understanding was so immature to where you are now. So you'll see the growth naturally, just from like, what in the world was I talking about? Like, seriously, girl, get it together. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be having a more mature understanding of like, oh, that's why I was going through that, because I was behaving this way, or I was thinking of it like that when it was really like this. We will really understand the maturity level and how much we've matured and grown. You know what I mean? Like, if you plant, let's just say if you planted a seed to grow avocados, it's going to take time for the avocado to grow. It's going to take time for it to blossom and flourish into the healthy, nutrient food that it is. You cannot just put it in the ground yesterday and think that you're going to have an avocado this morning for breakfast. It doesn't work like that. So when you're journaling, you will understand. When you read your journal months later, years later, a year later, a week later, you'll see like, oh, I was bugging out then. Like, this is, look at where I was. Look at the mindset that I have, and see how I think so differently now. Like, so these are different ways how we can embody and understand the 333 angel messaging. Yes, come through, divine. All right, let's move on to the next angel number that we might be seeing. So the next angel number that we may be seeing, sorry guys, the next angel number that we may be seeing is 999. 999, and I want to read it to you. 999. Sorry guys. The Divine Mother Mary is supporting you as you move back to a sense of wholeness. Welcome home to your heart. So when I say Divine Mother Mary, I know not everybody correlates with Mary. You might correlate with Yemaye, Oshun, Mother Teresa, you know, what's the other one that people say? Mother Earth. You know, there's so many different, you know, religions, spirituality, and visions and things that you might resonate with. So I just want to let you know, when you say Divine Mother, it means the infinite mother of the world, the universe, whatever you resonate with. So that's the energy right there. Learn from the past to move fearlessly into the future. That's what 999 is embodying. Learn from the past to move into the future. So it's connecting with your wholeness, connecting with self, connecting to the home, connecting to your heart. Some ways that you, what it would mean, what your future holds, the serious decision-making time. It's time to get real with yourself. It's time to understand what it is that you need to do and get to it. Be forceful, be serious, be guarded, be not guarded, but be grounded and have that foundation that you need. So what you can do, get in touch with the spiritual, meditate, pray, read, and you could read scriptures, you could read affirmations, whatever it is that works for you, and practice yoga. So practice some type of spiritual movement with body. Serve others through volunteer work or charitable giving. Minimize your belongings. Speak and write spiritual positivity into your life with meaningful, intentional sentences. All right, so getting in touch with spiritual, what are some ways? Okay. Divine, what are some ways we must get in touch with the spiritual? Get in touch with the spiritual. Different ways we might get in touch with the spiritual. Some ways we might get in. Divine, what are some ways we might get in touch with spiritual? Seasons comes out again. Seasons comes out again. So for me, I feel like there's a lot of purple in this card. So I feel like following intuition, intuitively understanding yourself, having that higher conscious, having that inner knowing where you actually quiet and you're being still so you could actually hear your thoughts and actually process them. Because they say we have 80,000 thoughts per day, and we maybe download about 15% mostly. So I feel that you really need to sit down and listen to self and receive those downloads, because a lot of times we have so much going on that we're not actually taking the time to think and process what we're thinking. So that's why meditation helps, prayer helps, reading helps. Reading, whether it's scriptures, affirmations, mantras, whatever it is, and practicing different yoga, qigong. They have so many different movements. Divine, how can we minimize our belongings? Divine, how can we minimize our belongings? How can we minimize our belongings? How can we minimize our belongings? can we minimize our all right. It says betrayal. So when I think about minimizing our belongings, I'm thinking about just, you know, having so much things that it's like a web. It's like a web, so we kind of feel stuck. So we're overcrowding our apartments because we're not grounded. We don't feel like we have enough, so we're always buying. There's no foundation there. There's a time where that's how people become hoarders. That's how you become buying several different things that you may not need or want, because you're buying so much because there's like a fear of never having enough, never knowing enough, never, always needing something, always needing more. There's a fear. And that the number on that card, I want to read it. It was 20. Your angels are congratulating you on taking steps toward growth and expansion. You have a deeper connection to your soul now. So once you understand that you always have enough, you always know enough, you are enough, that's when you'll have this grounding foundation where you understand that you don't need everything. Everything you see, you don't have to buy it just because it's like, oh, I feel like I need it. Because how many things in your house that you have and you haven't used in years? And it's just there. So we can always implement things that we don't use, and we can donate that, and that can be considered volunteering or donation, or, you know what I mean, charitable giving. So we can kill two birds with one stone, people like to say, or I like to say, you can catch two butterflies with one net. All right, divine. How can we speak or write spiritual positivity into our lives with meaningful and intentional sentences? Okay, so this one says soul forgiveness. Soul forgiveness. So I feel like there's like maybe a wounded inner child, maybe a wounded younger you that is hurt and never forgave themselves for a situation you may have found yourself in, and you're now at a point where you're taking responsibility for your actions, and you're at a place where you're lost and you kind of blaming yourself and you're holding yourself victim. This is time for soul forgiveness. This is time for soul forgiveness. And with doing that, you can write yourself a letter. You can start writing letters to divine or to your ancestors or to your guides. You can even write letters to the person who hurt you or harmed you, so that you can let that hurt go, and it could turn into positivity within your life. Like now you have a new way of expressing yourself through writing, or expressing yourself through speaking things out loud in a positive form or fashion. So remember, soul forgiveness. So it may not only be forgiving your soul, it may be forgiving someone else. And that's how you would embody the 999. So I hope all of these messages resonated with you for the angel numbers 111, 1111, 333, and 999. These are just some short but sweet ways to overcome. Divine, any last messages for my tribe? Etheric cords. Understand that we have a connection to self. We have connection to higher self. We have connection to our parents. But sometimes they can be healthy cords. Sometimes they may not be. But we need to understand that and be able to eliminate and block all things that are not serving us. Block all things. And when I say etheric cords, it don't have to just be family members. It could also be lovers. It could be friends. Sometimes we have these ties to people that may not be the healthiest, and we need to understand how to let go and let it be. If it's not serving your highest self or your best self, and feel content with doing so. feeling safe. Feel content with doing so. The number four for me, that's me. That's my birth number. And we're very practical. We're very unique and odd, but at times we can be very uneasy with changing. So we need to understand, when we need to cut those cords, y'all, when we gotta cut those cords, just cut them. Don't regret it. Do what you gotta do and keep it pushing. Do what you gotta do and keep it pushing. And then I feel to the need, and I see divine, I see the messages that he's sending. We still have to understand that life force within us, and we have to be fearless when loving. If you've been hurt, don't close your heart off to love. Don't close that heart off to love. Know that love is still here, and it's always going to be. Sometimes things don't work out because that was a season. Remember, that was a season, and it was a lesson, and it was a challenge, and we need to understand that. I love you guys. Peace. Have a beautiful Tuesday evening and a beautiful Wednesday morning.